Looks like we're live. I didn't put any of my lights on. Let's fix that before we. All right, that should do. Miss, you are going to have to go. Come on. Go, go, go. All right. So the dogs like to stand and look out the window and cry and bark at other dogs, and so they can't hang out here. So I'm doing this video here because I feeling a little bit guilty that I haven't been with you for last week, and then I won't be again this coming Saturday. So this is just a nice little extra and a thank you for hanging with me and sticking with me and and all of that, even when I'm not available every single Saturday. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking around 30 minutes or so this will end up being. And it's just going to be a nice little stretch, a nice little wind down for your day, or a nice little wake up for your weekend. You know, if you're not seeing this until Saturday morning, just a nice little way to move the body, either get rid of the tension of the day or to move the muscles and get ready for the beginning of a day. So it's nice that you can use these things and adjust a little bit depending on what your body needs at any moment. So that's my plan for the class. Be sure to improvise. So modify. That's the word I wanted. It's been a little bit of a long day today. So to modify if you need to modify anything, and just listen to your body. And if you want to linger a little longer in a pose, certainly feel free. And catch the rest as we go. I'm hearing music, but I don't know where that's from. So anyway, let's go ahead and head over to your mat. We're going to start seated. That because it's weird, clearly yucky. So. Just in case. So take a comfortable seat. If you'd like to use a bolster or a block under your bottom, feel free to do that. We're not even going to be getting up, right? We're going to move around on the mat a little bit, but we will not even be standing up. So any props that you want, I'm going to use legs up the wall. So if you have access to a wall around your space, wherever you're working, feel free to do that. Prop, if you want to prop, like I say, you can use blocks for all kinds of different things. And at the end, if you can't do legs up the wall, you can do a variation of it, which I'll show you once we get there. All right. So let's go ahead and align the heels to the groin here. Take inner thigh rotation so that you feel upright on your pelvis. And again, if you want to prop up to make it easier, feel free. And then relax your shoulders, let your elbows feel heavy, and then your hands just kind of rest where your hands rest. Go ahead and close your eyes. Maybe feel the bottom tips of the ears move back until you feel the weight of your head over your shoulders, feeling the alignment of the spine and the foundation of the pelvis. Crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Try to relax into your hips as much as you can. Just begin to observe your breath here. And breathing all through the nose, begin to expand. Coming to that nice, full, just beyond comfortable place. And let's begin with the neck here. With the next exhale, go ahead and drop your chin down to your chest. Inhaling, look up toward the ceiling, but keep the back of the neck nice and long. Just don't let your head flop back. Exhale, take the chin back down again. Inhaling up. Exhale back down one more time. Inhaling, look up. And then bring your head back to the middle again. Take a nice big breath in. And then exhale as you look over your right shoulder. With the inhale, come on back to center. And then exhale over to the left. Back to the middle, inhale. And then one more time, back over to the right, but this time let your chin roll down to the center of your chest. Inhale your head back up to the middle. And exhale over to the left, chin rolling all the way down. Leave your head down, leave your chin to your chest here. And then with your breath on the inhale, let your right ear roll over toward your right shoulder. Exhale, come on back to center. Inhaling the left ear toward the left shoulder. And then rolling back to center. So just let your head roll side to side with your breath. Let the head be heavy. So you feel that nice stretch through the sides and the back of the neck. One more time like that on each side. Back over to the right. Through the center. One last time over to the left. Let your head hang in the middle for a moment. And then nice and easy, lift the face. Let's go ahead and extend the arms out to the sides. On an inhale, we're going to stretch up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring them back down. Again, reach through your fingertips, really stretch the arms, stretch the shoulders, stretch the side body when you get there. Back down again. One more time. Let's go back to the top. Inhale. Exhaling the right hand back to the mat. Take a nice big breath in, extend. Exhale, sink. And then inhale all the way back up to the top again and switch. Take it over to the left. Exhale. Full breath. Inhaling center. One more time like that. Exhale over to the right. Use that breath. Get in there a little bit deeper, opening up. Coming back through the center. And then over to the left, last one. Back up to the middle. And we'll exhale the arms. Let's bring the hands to the knees. Inhale here, draw your shoulder blades together on your back, lift your chest. And then exhale round. Flowing like that, in and out. Just take one more flow like that, in and out. Finding your middle again, sit nice and tall. From here, let's take those fingers and interlace behind the lower back. We're gonna pull the shoulders together on the back and stretch the knuckles toward the floor. Keep your chest open and lifted, shoulders playing together. If you want a little bit more, go ahead and hinge forward from the hip, belly button to heels-ish, extending out the crown of your head. Big full breaths. And then on an inhale, make your way back up to the top. Before you release your fingers, think about which thumb you have on top back there. And then go ahead and release, and we're gonna switch which foot is in front here. Every now and again, switch that up for yourself. If it feels super awkward, definitely switch it up now and again. So we're gonna take those fingers and interlace them behind the back again, this time putting the thumb on the opposite, or the opposite thumb on top. We're gonna pull our shoulders together, stretch the knuckles away, and hinging forward here. Same idea, keep the front of the body nice and long, shoulders pulling toward each other. See if you notice a difference on this side versus the other. Yeah, one more breath over on this side. On an inhale, we're gently going to come back up again. Release the fingers, maybe roll your shoulders around a little bit. And then let's go ahead and stretch those like that. Bounce them around, wiggle your feet, wiggle your toes, anything that feels good. Again, depending on the time of day you do this, you'll need different things. So we're going to extend the toes toward the ceiling. So the legs are straight but not locked. Watch those knees. Make sure that you still feel upright on your pelvis. Sit nice and tall here, shoulders down and back, reaching the arms if you like. You don't have to. We're going to hinge forward here. When you can't hinge any further, the hands fall. Maybe you touch your toes, maybe you do not. Try not to round your back, right? Keep those shoulders down and back, the chest open and lifted. And then with your breath here, on the inhale, feel like you're lengthening out the crown of your head, you're filling into your belly, so you're coming out of your foot a little bit maybe. And then exhale, sink in a little bit deeper. So in and out like that. Just nice and easy. You can make it a bigger movement if you like. Otherwise, it can be really subtle. Take one more breath like that. And then hold for another breath. And just kind of notice where you're feeling this the most, if it's different than where you first started. And with that next inhale, let's come back up to the top. We're going to release the arms, exhale. So let's go ahead and leave this left leg extended. Bring the right foot in like you would for tree pose, right? So the foot can stay touching or not, that part's not important. See if you can open up the knee though. Now the hips are level or square, right? See if you can take the knee back and open the hips a little bit. And again, just go gentle and listen to your body. Find your seat. Sometimes it's a little messy back there. Sitting up nice and tall. So again, the hands can definitely stay back by your hips, or they can extend forward here or up. And we're going to hinge forward. So kind of into this middle space, not toward one leg or the other, as much in the middle as you can, keeping both sit bones on the floor, shoulders down and back, and the hands just kind of fall where they fall. Doesn't really matter what you're touching. And just like with that forward fold, notice the subtle differences when you inhale and lengthen up, and then you exhale and sink in. Again, making it a bigger movement if you like, or just really, really slow. See if you can find the changes. Let's go one more breath here. And then with the next inhale, we're going to come back up to the top again. This time, rotate your body toward the left leg, and we're going to fold right over this leg here. So let your hands again just kind of fall where they fall, keeping the sit bones rooted, shoulders down and back, extending out the crown of the head. You can get a little bit more rotation if that feels right for you by pressing more into this left hand, bringing the belly button more toward the thigh, keeping the shoulders as level and square as you can. See if you notice any changes. Does it help to inhale and lengthen and exhale and sink, or not? Let's go one more breath like that. With the next inhale, come on back up to the top. Release your arms. And we are going to switch our feet. So go ahead and extend the right leg. Bounce around a little bit if that feels good. I feel like I'm not in the middle. And then let's go ahead and switch. So bring the left foot in. And again, just starting off in this tree position. If this is as open as your hips can be, it's not any big deal, right? If you can open it a little bit or a lot, right? Find where that is. Find your seat. Make sure you're feeling even, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down and back. Stretch the arms. If you want to stretch the arms, we're going to hinge forward here. And again, when you can't hinge, that's when the hands fall. Nice big breaths. One more breath here. We're going to come back up to the top, rotate around toward the leg, and then fold here. Hands land where they land. That little in and out, maybe rotating around a little bit more. Find where the pose is for you right now. One more big breath. On the inhale, coming back up again. Releasing the arms. Extending the legs again. And again, here, maybe bouncing around, wiggling your feet, whatever restores movement. So from here, let's go ahead and come around, hands and knees. All right. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, bellies pulled in. Let's go ahead and take the right hand palm up. We're going to weave it under here, dropping down to the elbow. So already you can feel a little twist. And if this is good, you don't have to go any further. You can even use the push and pull idea here, kind of pulling your elbow to the right, pushing down into the left hand, right? So you can feel that. If you want more intensity, you reach out and the shoulder comes down, but then the same idea, pushing into the floor, pulling a little bit, keeping the head and neck super comfortable. You don't mean leaning on your head here. You can leave the left hand on the floor or extend up toward the ceiling, keeping the shoulder away from the ear. A lot of times it'll drop down or the hand goes back and the shoulder drops forward. None of that. Stretch the fingertips toward the ceiling. If you want to get all fancy and add in stepping the left foot back and coming away from the toes, you can play with that. You can get a quad stretch if that's you today, whenever you're practicing. Take one more nice big breath. And then we'll gently release that back into all fours. So let's go second side, taking that left hand. And again, whether you're just dropping down to the elbow because it's first thing in the morning or you had a hard day or whatever it might be, pushing down into the floor, pulling a little bit, taking the shoulder down if and when you're ready for that. Same idea, using the floor, keeping the spine nice and long here, big full breaths, head and neck are comfortable, and then you add in whatever you decide to add in. We're going to take one more breath. And then gently release it. Making your way back to all fours again. So from here, let's go ahead and sit on back into our favorite pose, child's pose. And just let yourself sink. So you can have your knees wider or narrower. You can sit your hips back more or less. Maybe make fists so your forehead meets them or all the way down to the floor. From child's pose here, let's go ahead and slide forward, coming out onto the belly. So finding alignment, the arms maybe down by your sides. We're going to take locust here. So remember, the arms can simply stay down by your sides. They can interlace behind your back. If that's you, you decide where you want the arms. You can extend them forward if you're really feeling it, right? For right now, keep the toes on the floor. So press your toenails down into the floor. Turn your tailbone toward your heels, making the pelvis your foundation. We're going to roll the shoulders up by the ears, together on the backbone, down toward the hip bones, and just get a little lift here. Stretching the fingertips toward the heels or the knuckles, depending on where your arms are. Nice big breaths. And then release it. We're going to make a little pillow for the head, resting your chin or your forehead on the pillow so your head stays in a neutral position. Work with just your legs here for a moment. So spread your toes and stretch that big toe toward the wall behind you. Feel the muscles in the legs start to work, and then lift your legs using your hamstrings at least as much as your glutes. Keeping the lower back nice and long. And then go ahead and release it. Let's put it all together. So extending the arms down by the sides, interlacing behind your back, extending forward if that's where you're at. Stretching through the big toes, grounding into the pelvis, curling the chest away from the floor, and lifting the legs. Let's go another big breath. And release it. Making that little pillow for your head again here. Go ahead and turn your big toes toward each other and then just gently rock back and forth on your hips. Shake it out. Release any tension in your back. And then let's go ahead and stretch our shoulders out. So go ahead and extend your left arm out to the left. Palm down, hand in line with the shoulder, right? If it starts to wander down toward your hips, bring it back. So from here, just start to roll yourself over onto your left side, and you're gonna feel a stretch. And you stop once you felt enough, right? Otherwise you keep rolling, and maybe your 2 feet are flat to the floor and your butt's on the mat. And maybe you're just happy to not blow out your shoulder with the arm extended, right? So listen to your body here. Get a nice little stretch. Roll on back through the center. And then do that same thing on your second side here. Props in the way. So the arm simply extended out to the right off your shoulder, palm face down. As you start to roll, you find where is enough, and then you stop when it's enough. One more big breath. And then we're going to come on back to the middle again. Bring the arms in or overhead, and then roll yourself over onto your back. So wiggling yourself back to your mat, of course. Find a nice neutral spine here. Your feet can be flat or the legs extended, whatever makes you happy there. And then just rest the muscles into the mat. Get really, really heavy. Drawing the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. Let's take the feet flat to the floor. And we're going to extend the right leg straight up toward the ceiling. Or as straight as it can be. If you have a strap and you want to use it across the ball mound of your foot, or you want to use it behind your thigh, feel free to play with that. You can interlace your fingers. We want to keep the shoulders down and back as much as possible with the hips neutral on the floor. All right, so if you feel your bottom rounding up or this one hip kicking up, see if you can find more centered. And then with an exhale here, pull that leg in a little closer to your chest. Inhale and let it go. So just a little bit of in and out here. Again, working with the breath to improve the body. Notice where you start to feel your pelvis shift or your shoulders or your hips or whatever might be going on there. Finding the edge. Let's go one more breath like that. Pull it in there as good as it's going to get. Let it go just a little bit. And then support the outside of the leg with the right hand. Use the left arm extending out to the left to glue that side of your body to the floor. We're going to take the right leg out to the right. Take it nice and slow. And keep that left hip planted on the floor, just like when you had 2 feet on the floor. Right? Catch the weight of the leg in the hand. Try and release the inner right hip. So we don't want the muscles doing the work. Use the arm. If you want a little bit more intensity here, flex your right foot like crazy, rotating your toes toward the floor and your heel toward the ceiling-ish. Okay? Don't worry about touching the floor again. You can touch the floor, but when that left hip lifts, it just doesn't do anything. Right? Let's take another nice big breath. We'll come on back to the top, releasing the right foot. So same idea on the second side. Go ahead and extend that left leg using your strap or your hands or wherever you need to be here. Keeping the shoulders down, the pelvis in this neutral place as you bring that leg in a little bit and then back out. It can be a very small little movement or it can be a little bit bigger. Right? Try not to get too carried away with momentum, of course. Make every movement intentional. You got one more breath over on this side. And then bringing it into that just less than that perfect stretch, or that big stretch, not perfect, right? Extending the right arm out to the right, supporting the outside of the leg with the left hand, letting it fall to the left. Keep the right hip glued, that right knee pointing toward the ceiling. Sometimes it likes to fall out to compensate, I guess, right? And again, flexing the foot, rotating the toes toward the floor, any little extra that you need. Taking one more breath. And then bringing that back to middle, releasing the left foot. So let's go ahead and take the soles of the feet together, releasing the knees out to the sides, and then just releasing the hips here. You can add your hands at the tops of your thighs here, right by the hips, and you can gently press away from the rest of the body. If that feels good, take it. If it doesn't make any sense or bothers you in any way, just forget I said it. One more nice big breath here. And we'll gently release it all, bringing the knees back in. So hug the knees into the chest. A little bit more rock. We're going to take a final twist here. So knees into the chest, feet on the floor, shifting the hips, taking the legs straight, any of those variations, of course. Extending the arms out. So let's go ahead and just drop the legs over to the right. And you decide if you want to take different variations, if you need to linger longer, all of that fun stuff. Taking just a couple more breaths on this side. So if you wanted to add anything in, feel free at this point. And then we're going to make our way back up to the middle. Adjust if you need to adjust, of course, right? Take the legs to the left. couple more breaths around this side, making any variations or taking any variations you'd like. And then we'll bring it back up to the center again. So you have lots of options, of course, for Shavasana. You can simply extend your legs out and lay flat on the floor. You can have your feet flat to the mat. You can have your knees open as we were earlier. Like I said before, if you are near a wall, scoot your bottom over to that wall and take the legs up. If you don't have a wall, right, you can still have your legs extended toward the ceiling, right? You can even prop up with a block underneath your sacrum. Make it long, right? Not up and down the spine, wide across your hip bones. You can prop up underneath your shoulder blades. Tons of options here. Take what sounds like a good idea, and if you don't love it, move. Right? Try something else. And once you're in a comfortable place, check for alignment. Try and release the muscles that you don't need. Obviously, if you're in a seated meditation, you're going to be using some. But listen to your body. Coming back solely to your breath. Spending a couple minutes here just simply watching yourself breathe. Stay present, focused, and relaxed. You can always stay in Shavasana a little bit longer if you feel like you need that. Otherwise, we're going to slowly work our way out of that. So maybe just wiggling your fingers and toes if you're reclined. Unpropping if you are propped in one way or another. Gently rolling to your side. And then carefully pressing yourself up to seated. So take your time coming in and out of that. Especially if you move into a little bit more complicated position. Aligning the heels and sitting well here. Bringing the palms to touch. Bowing your head to your heart. Namaste. So I hope that was a little bit different. Again, I wanted to do something a little bit special since I have been a slacker. And will be a slacker. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to share and all that kind of stuff, otherwise it's just going to be available through this link. So appreciate you guys, and have a great day, week, weekend, whenever you see this. Thank you.